So the key when working with acrylic and cutting it is to follow basic steps. So if you're using a table saw, a router, CNC or laser, they each have pros and cons to cutting when working with acrylic. So on a table saw you have to use the right saw blade. It's specially designed, so you can't use a woodwork saw blade. Very close to it is an aluminium saw blade, but once you've cut aluminium on that saw blade you can't use it on acrylic because the chemicals on there attack the acrylic. And the rake on the saw blade needs to be a negative rake, and you're looking at normally on small saws about 60 odd teeth up to 80 teeth. So they're very fine and it gives you a very detailed cut. To the point is where your cut is nice and thin, it almost looks shiny and there's hardly any white streaks across it, which means it's ready now for gluing. You don't have to do any other prep work. If it is a little bit white, then suggest is you either scrape it with a paint scraper to remove those marks, a light bit of sandpaper, like a 320, 260 grit, and then you get a nice prepared from a rough surface, you get a nice soft smooth surface ready for gluing. Then the next step is to make sure that you clean the area before you work. Like working with everything, grease gets everywhere and dirt, so you get different cleaners. So the first key thing is to remove your cladding. So all acrylic, which is one of the benefits, has cladding. You don't need to remove the other side, you need to remove where you're gluing. And you take your TC cleaner and then you just wipe it over your area, and then the piece you're wanting to glue. Same thing, give it a wipe. You can peel back a little bit of the cladding or remove it all. And then I'm going to use the Acrylics 127, the thin one. There's different techniques to gluing. This is a bottle with a simple, very basic toothpick, because the toothpick's porous. So if you see, it drops it out like very controlled. Little white dots and it evaporates. Another technique is you don't have the needle and it's like a squeeze bottle. You squeeze it up, but then it just runs everywhere. Or when you're doing a lot of work, people use a syringe with a very thin gauge needle to get more accuracy and control. So, and you basically just place it down there and you run the glue, and it's thin enough that the pressure will run underneath. You hold it, and if your saw blade is correct and it's cut 90 degrees, it'll bond. And because it's 3mm or thicker, sometimes you just need to run it again on the other side to make sure you've got your glue everywhere. And then when you pick it up, I'll take the bottom cladding off. You can see it's already glued, it's not falling off. And there's your glue joints. Nice and clear. So the fast set stuff tacks quite quickly in 10 to 15 seconds, but all glue joints take a good 12 to 24 hours to harden. So don't rush to go and pack it in an hour's time, because if it bumps, it's going to break. So let it stand overnight, and then it's ready to pack and ship.